Welcome to the Tonight Show. I'm your host, Nicole Scant. Tonight we have a very special guest. This person was the first person to fly solo, non-stop, across the Atlantic Ocean. Known to many as Lucky Lindy and the Lone Eagle, please welcome none other than Charles Lindbergh.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Nicole. Such a great night to be on the show. Thank you. Thank you.
We all can't wait to hear what you have to say tonight.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
So I am fascinated in your whole life story. So tell me, where and when were you born?
Well, I was born on February 4th, 1902 in that one city named Detroit. However, I grew up on a farm near Little Falls, Minnesota.
So tell me, what are your paintings and what do they do?
My dad's name is also Charles, and he's a lawyer. He also served as a congressman from 1907 to 1917. My mom, her name is Evangeline Lodge Land.
So I heard that Charles, you showed excellent mechanical ability. Do you mind going into more detail about that?
Not a problem, Nicole. You see, I was so good at mechanics that I decided to go to the University of Wisconsin to study engineering. However, I was more interested in the field of aviation at the time. So after 2 years of school, I dropped out and became a barnstormer, which is a person who flies daredevil stunts at fairs.
A barnstormer, huh? Very interesting. So you couldn't have been a barnstormer forever. Tell me, what happened next in the life of Lucky Lindy?
Well, after my barnstormer years, I enlisted in the U.S. Army, so I could train to become a Air Service Reserve pilot. A year later, I graduated from the Army's flight training school near San Antonio as the best pilot in my class.
You're the best pilot in your class. Wow. This had to earn you some recognition.
That's absolutely right, Nicole. In fact, after my Army training, the Robertson Aircraft Corporation of St. Louis hired me to fly the mail between St. Louis and Chicago. That's when I started to gain recognition as a cautious and capable pilot.
So tell me, Charles, you won an award called the Ortiz Prize. Tell me, what did you win this award for?
Well, you see, Nicole, a New York City hotel owner named Raymond Ortiz was offering $25,000 to the first aviator to fly from New York to Paris. I believed that I could win this award if I had the right plane. So I chose Ryan Aeronautical Company of San Diego to manufacture a special plane, which I helped design.
Wow, a special plane, huh? Tell me more about this plane of yours.
Well, I named this plane the Spirit of St. Louis. I tested this plane by flying it from San Diego to New York City. The flight took 20 hours and 21 minutes, which is a transcontinental record.
That sounds great, Lindy. And now, a word from our advertiser. How's your breath today? If it's bad, you're not welcome. Play safe. Use the string. So tell me about the other record you broke, the transatlantic record perhaps.
Sure thing, Nicole. On May 20th, 1927, I took off in the Spirit of St. Louis from Rooseveltville, near New York City, at 7:52 a.m. After a long, tiring, arduous flight over the Atlantic Ocean, I landed in Le Bourget Field near Paris at 10:21 p.m. Thousands of cheering fans had gathered to meet me, seeing that I had flown over 3,600 miles in 33.5 hours.
Yes, Charles, I had to congratulate you myself. You see, the flight had thrilled people about the world.
Thanks, Nicole. I was also honored with awards, celebrations, and parades. President Calvin Coolidge Jr. gave me the Congressional Medal of Honor and the Distinguished Flying Cross.
That's quite an honor, Charles. So tell me, what were some key events in your life after the flight?
Well, Nicole, the first thing I did after the flight was publish a book entitled We. This book is about the transatlantic flight. The title refers to me and my airplane.
Interesting. So what else happened?
Well, another key event that took place in my life after the flight was me finding and marrying Anne Spencer Morrow.
Tell me more about this Anne Spencer Morrow.
Sure thing, Nicole. You see, I was flying to various Latin American countries in December of 1927 as a symbol of the American goodwill. While I was in Mexico, I met Anne. I taught her how to fly, and we went on flying expeditions throughout the world. We eventually married in 1929.
Fascinating.
I bet you didn't know they invented the artificial heart between 1931 and 1935.
Really? Tell me more.
I'd love to. I developed it for Alex Carroll, a French surgeon and biologist whose research included keeping organs alive outside of the body. My device could pump the substances necessary for life throughout the tissues of an organ.
Wow. Is that interesting or what? So tell me, were you involved in the war at all?
Funny you should ask. I was involved in the war effort a little. In fact, I flew over 50 combat missions for the U.S. Navy. I also developed cruise control techniques that increased the capabilities of American fighter planes.
Interesting. Maybe it was just me, but I didn't hear much from you after the war. Am I just out of the loop?
In fact, Nicole, you're not at all. You see, I withdrew from public attention after the war to work as a consultant for the U.S. Air Force. President Dwight Howard restored my commission and appointed me a brigadier general in 1954. Pan American Airways also hired me as a consultant. I've been advising the airline of its purchase of jet transports, and I've just recently designed the Boeing 747 jet. Also just recently, I published The Spirit of St. Louis, which has won the Pulitzer Prize.
Charles Lindbergh, everyone! Thank you so much for joining us. To close, we'll be showing a clip of Wendy's transatlantic flight. On behalf of myself as well as the entire Tonight crew, have a great day, everybody.